very warm welcome to Macrob. My name is Pinchi Wong and I have the honour of being the Macrob School Captain in 2023.
My name is Gary Apte and I have the honour of being our Vice School Captain in 2023. We begin tonight's programme by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we come to meet tonight, the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation, who have been caring for country for over 40,000 years. I'd also like to pay our respect to their elders, past and present, and extend this respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples present today. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
The purpose of tonight's session is to provide you all with an authentic sense of who we are as a community. You will hear from staff and students about their experience at Macrob. Our principal, Sue Harrop, will talk about her vision for leading our community. You will then hear from a range of student speakers from Year 9, 10 and 11, sharing with you their individual experiences of being a Macrobian. You may have already met staff and students on your way into the hall. They will also be available to answer questions that you may have at the conclusion of the session. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the lectern our Macrob School Principal, Ms. Sue Harrop.
We'll get rid of that photo as quickly as we can. Hello everyone and welcome to Macrob. I'm really delighted to see you here this afternoon and to see that you're interested in finding out more about Macrob and whether this might be the right choice for you as a school. We are going to have we've already looked at that. This is Josie Phillips. She is just over here and she'll be talking to you a little bit later on. She's our head of middle school and she'll give you a little bit more logistical information towards the end. If you have any questions throughout the session, please scan the QR code now and you can jot those questions down and we'll compile a frequently asked questions and distribute that to everyone who attends in both this session and the next session. So there might be questions that come up in the next session that weren't asked in this one, but we'll give you all of the answers. So, I guess I would like to ask you as parents and students, what is it that you want for your child when they graduate? What is it that you as a student want when you graduate? How do you want to be as a person? What skills and dispositions and attributes would you like to graduate with? And what would you like to do when you head off? You don't need to answer that question right now. And hopefully throughout the evening you will see that Macrob can offer some of those things to you. So have a little think about that now before I head into our vision and what it is that we're on about. And then as we go, just reflect along the way, does this sit with me? Is this what I'm aspiring to? Is this what I think I would be comfortable in? And that will help you make a decision about whether we are the right place for you. We have done some serious work over the last few years to establish a new set of school values. That work was done with the whole school community in 2021. And we're really delighted to have come up with 4 values that represent us as a community and that we live every day. And I'm hoping you see those demonstrated tonight. They're community growth, responsibility and compassion. And they really define how we work together, how we be together, how we behave. We obviously have a really significant moral purpose as a selective entry school. We are part of an inclusive education system. So I'm sure that you have wonderful schools that you're attending at the moment. But the purpose of our school and of Nossal and Melbourne High and Suzanne Corey is to provide a space for young people who are high ability learners, who learn things perhaps more quickly, who learn things in much more detail, and who have curious interests and passions and they want to pursue those. And so we provide a space in the school system for young people who have those attributes and who have those characteristics, who want to challenge themselves and continue to learn. We provide an opportunity that you might not get in a regular school because it's really hard to differentiate the learning on a broad spectrum. Here, when we have all of these highly able, hard-working, highly aspirational young people together, we can tailor the learning to meet their needs, their academic needs, their social needs, their wellbeing needs. We can meet their needs in a way that is much more tailored than you might get in your regular school experience. We also provide that continuous challenge so that they can continue to grow, that there is no ceiling on their learning in any of those areas, academic, social, wellbeing. So it's a really crucial role that we play. It's not for everyone, but there is a spot for the young people that this school serves. What that means is that we get students from all over the state, sometimes even beyond, who have these similar characteristics and who don't have to pretend to be anything other than themselves. Many of our students report that they have had to maybe dumb themselves down to feel like they could fit in. They couldn't explore their curious interests in great detail with others. They're kind of having to do a bit of pretending that they're something that they're not. Well, here at McRob, the beauty of this place is that you can absolutely be yourself and you will be celebrated for that. You will feel people that just want to learn more from you, lift you up, share in your learning, push you, support you, and also have curious interests like you. What most students do, almost all of them, is that they find their people, the people they connect with, and they have this deep sense of belonging. And as principal, there's nothing better for me to see the sense of belonging that our students have. And that stays with our students for the rest of their lives. When I first became principal in mid-year 2021, I had people, alumni, graduates of McRob ringing me and saying, "That school changed my life, that school saved my life. I found my people, I could be myself, I could grow and stretch and develop." That creates this great sense of belonging, and then what that does is it gives a great sense of confidence. Students regularly say to us that I would never have been brave enough to give this a go or that a go, or to try this or to take on a leadership role. And then I came to McRob, and that sense of belonging and that sense of being yourself brings with it a confidence where you feel okay to take risks and put yourself out on a limb, and taking productive risks is how we grow and develop. And we provide this really enriched academic and social environment. It's not only the academic level that's higher, but the social interaction is at a deeper level because students can talk about things at a deeper level with each other. And that's how they connect more. It's really so beautiful to see. Our vision is honouring diversity, inspiring curiosity and creativity, transforming lives. We are a very diverse community. We are diverse in culture, in religion, in location. We're diverse in terms of sexuality. While we're called a girls' school, we have students who identify as alternate genders to female here, non-binary students, we have those with us. So we're diverse in so many ways, and we don't just want to know about diversity, we want to understand it and have empathy for each other, because many of the issues, the global issues that we face, would be eliminated if we understood each other a bit better. So we have a deep sense of understanding, and we want to have culturally responsive practice in our teaching, in our co-curricular program, in our social environment, and so on. We also know that if we apply curiosity and creativity to the problems that we encounter in life, then we will be able to solve those problems. So things like climate change, globalisation, dislocation, war, disability, anything you can possibly imagine, we can address those challenges as a society if we've got curiosity and creativity backing us up. And as I've explained already, students say to us that coming here transforms their lives, that they are with like-minded people that they connect with, they have deep, long-lasting, lifetime friendships, and that transforms their lives. They become confident and willing to take risks and pursue things they might not have unless they had been here in this environment. So we've talked about belonging. We'll talk about, I think I've covered all of these things. I'm just waxing lyrical tonight. And that creates a sense of happiness and confidence. The next thing is about growth. I just want to dispel a misconception about this place. We recognise, celebrate, reward growth far more than we do achievement. Yes, you need to achieve well in order to get a place here at McRob. And it might be, at the present time, easy for you to achieve well in your current schools. You might be at the top of your class, or you might be at the top of your year level. And that might be relatively easy for you. But when you come to McRob, you join 299 actually, when you come. You join 299 other people who are similar to you in that regard. And so if we focused on achievement here and trying to be the best, then that would create a sense of unhappiness and comparison. And that's not the environment that we want to create, and we don't create that. So we celebrate and recognise growth and you being the best version of yourself. And by necessity, that means that you will perform better when you get to do those final exams in Year 12. But if we focus on growth, we're doing what is the business of school, that's learning. And sometimes if you focus on achievement alone, you may not have learnt anything at all. You might just have got good marks because you already knew it. So we've talked about how we're promoting curiosity and creativity. The other thing that some people think about McRob is that it's a really competitive environment. Now, it is incredibly competitive when it comes to the house competitions. There are 4 houses. They're pretty amazing. But in terms of being competitive in an academic sense, that really is not a feature of our culture. It is an internal competitiveness that you want to keep getting better and better, and you aspire to more, and then your peers are supporting you to do that. But there's not this debilitating sense that it's one student competing against another. We promote reflection because it's through taking the time to stop, reflect on what you've done so far and where you're heading to, that you really truly learn. And so our practice encourages students to reflect on where they are now, where they'd like to get to, and how they can bridge that gap. There's an appropriate amount of challenge and support. So in every class, the learning is differentiated so that it's meeting students at their point of need. All of our professional learning is about getting better and better at that, to meet students at their need. And to take risks, to push themselves out of the comfort zone, to be in the learning dip, to be uncomfortable, to not know, and to really relish in that and love it, because that means you're actually learning something. And we do this in an academic sense, in a well-being sense, and leadership. I'm sure the students are going to talk to you this afternoon about how we promote leadership as well. The final piece of the puzzle is about having agency, being in control of your learning environment and your learning trajectory. There are choices that you get to make. There's contributions that you get to make to our community. This is had a little bit of a seizure. We might fix that later on. So in terms of agency, in the classroom you get to know where you are now and where you'd like to head and how you might get there, and you get to make decisions about your learning in the classroom. In the general school environment, our co-curricular program is largely student-led. If there's a club that you would like to have, and we don't have it already, you can start that. We have students on our curriculum committee with the teachers who are leading our curriculum and our pedagogy. We have students on the wellbeing and engagement team with teachers informing us. We have students on a buildings and ground committee, and they inform us how we can improve that. And we have students contributing to the development of how we are as a school and the environment. So they have agency to act, to have a voice, to participate. They're treated far more equally than you might have been in a previous school. Our students are actively involved, highly engaged, and we encourage balance. From right at this moment, we want you to know if you come to McRob, we don't want you to give up all of the fun things in life, all of the sport, all of the music, and just focus on academics. We want to develop the whole person. We want balanced people who can contribute to their societies when they leave us. And ultimately, the goal is that you do leave us with pathways of choice. And who knows what those pathways might be in 5 years' time when you're graduating. Who knows what skills will be required, but we can guess there'll be problem solving, communication, collaboration, all of those skills that are really important. So if you're balanced, if you contribute to your community, then you'll be able to have those skills and dispositions to make you successful. And it will also keep you happy and fulfilled if you are engaging in those. We're a caring and understanding community. Compassion is one of our values, and we live that. And the other beautiful thing about McRob is that we have an amazing staff. We are very lucky that we're a school of choice for teachers to work at and for support staff to work at. Why wouldn't you want to work with these amazing young people? So our staff role model, being engaged, being active, having fun with the students. There's always a staff and student match. There's always staff putting their hand up to go on camp and being involved. We all dress up for the house activities, except me because I'm neutral, but I have a cape and so I dress up in the cape with all the colours. Our teachers are highly skilled and expert in their content knowledge, but also their pedagogy. And they know how to support these types of learners, the types of learners. And the best thing about it all is that our teachers are also learners. They're constantly learning together and growing together their practice. They present at conferences, they write papers, they mark VCE exams, they do all sorts of things to make sure that they are relevant, up to date, and showing that they're learning too. And it's this type of environment that transforms lives. It's this kind of environment that makes people happy, makes them feel like they're learning and growing and developing. So I think that's it from me. Aside from saying, is that something you would like for yourself or for your child? I hope so, but it may not be, and that's okay. Not too many more adults are going to talk at you this afternoon. We said to the students exactly this. What do you think the parents and students need to know about McRob? And what do you think they will want to hear. And then we've sent them off and said, prepare something for us. And then today we heard what they have prepared for you. And so we're really looking forward to that. Pop any questions on the QR code, and we'll get to those with the frequently asked questions soon. Thank you very much. Next up is Samantha and Flora.
Good evening, students, parents, and teachers.
Welcome to tonight's Prospective Parents Information Evening. We will be focusing on the aspects of Year 9 transition, including transport,
The different support options available,
Year 9 camp.
and our main worries and opinions about McGraw.
Like a multitude of others, I was filled to the brim with nerves during the first week of school. I can still recall the butterflies and worries that threatened to overwhelm me as I took my first step into these hallowed halls. McRobertson High School seemed so daunting at first, due to its reputation for being academically oriented, and simply because it was a new school. We had worked so hard to get there, so naturally we had worries about making friends, the teachers, getting lost, the homework, transport, and more. But before I knew it, these fears had been extinguished by the warm and supportive environment of McGraw. Plus, transport buddies were available to those who were not used to going to the city on public transport, like me. Overall, the transition was executed wonderfully by teachers and students alike, and school became a home away from home. What's your opinion of the school, Flora?
Personally, I find McGraw a very exciting place. I was blown away by the amount of opportunities offered to the student cohort and how self-motivated everyone is. Without even knowing, I would find myself trying more and more to participate in anything I could think of. And for the first time ever, I participated in the swimming carnival. To be honest, I was a little scared of what others would think of me. What if I do badly on the swimming? What if people judge me on my swimsuit? What if no one wanted to be friends with me? These worries were for naught, however, as now I know that I'm not alone, and the community will always accept me.
Speaking of our community and classmates, the Year 9 camp really cemented the year levels bonds and facilitated a sense of camaraderie. There were a variety of activities available at our fantastic campsite, including kayaking, barista, beach Olympics, a lip-syncing competition, and even a disco. With each session, our friendship strengthened, and we left camp with memories to last a lifetime. What was your favorite camp activity, Flora?
I personally liked kayaking the most. The feeling of excitement that comes from rowing, the slight adrenaline from the shaky boat, and the complete control over your own kayak. Not to mention, and that's not it. Once you reach the shore from the kayak, there's even more activities waiting. And not to mention, during the activity, I splashed my partners at least 3 times in the face because we weren't very good at rowing, and we had a huge laugh over that.
Ultimately, camp was an unforgettable experience that helped us form lifelong bonds with our fellow peers, and I wouldn't trade those few days for the world. We're incredibly grateful to the teachers for organizing everything and supporting us along the way.
And while we're on the topic of support, moving into a new school can be very stressful, which is why I'd like to speak about the counselling and support network here at McGraw. Our school has a wide web of teachers and counsellors who are dedicated to their job and ready to help anyone. Whether it's instrumental, academic, or social, someone is always there to lend a helping hand. Whether that's your classmate, your sub-school captain, peer support mentors, or more. In fact, there are lots of bonding activities and classes that were designed with the goal of helping students to meet more people from both their cohort and higher year levels. For example, there have been swimming carnival, house weeks, Year 9 and 10 combined event, Holy Festival, and many, many more.
So, thank you so much for taking the time to attend today's information evening, and hope that you will consider becoming a part of our incredible school community. We would now like to welcome Trinity and Zumi, our 2023 middle school captains, to talk about life at McRob.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Trinity.
And I'm Zuni.
And we are the 2023 McRob Middle School captains.
As year 10s, looking back on year 9 is like reliving a fever dream. We had camp, athletics day, house music, presentation night, and then all of a sudden it was the holidays, where we relaxed and got ready for the next year.
For each and every year 10, all of these experiences were unique. This is because McRob is a place which has students from a variety of ethnicities with a range of interests, even to the extent that we all live in different parts of Melbourne.
Hence, we would love to share the diverse range of opportunities available at McRob, both within and outside of the classroom.
At 8:30 in the morning, we are ushered into our classrooms by our teachers, ready to start our school day. For me, the McRob classroom has always been a safe space, where no question is a silly question. Everyone in my class has the same desire to challenge themselves and strives to grow in all areas of their life. This environment has helped me feel not only supported, but connected to my peers, as we all share a similar mindset. Another thing I love about the classroom setting at McRob is that I'm constantly being encouraged by my classmates to push myself. My peers and teachers applaud me for my achievements and are constantly guiding me throughout my learning journey.
The timetable is, of course, different for everyone, since this is a school which caters a variety of subjects to different year levels. In Year 9, our core classes like English, Science, and School Singing are done in Connect classes. A Connect class is like a student's home or form group, with 25 students who become like close family and are supporting each other consistently in their 4 years at McRob. Just like its name, Connect is a way for McRob to celebrate united accomplishments by holding whole school competitions or initiatives. But personally, I enjoyed my elective classes as well, because I got to interact with people from different Connect classes who had similar interests, yet a vast range of experiences, and probably because I was cooking and eating in one of them.
Another benefit of learning in a McRob classroom is the supportive team of teachers. During classes, our teachers use a wide variety of resources to cater to each of our different learning styles and needs. They also go beyond our timetabled classes and offer learning support for us after school and at lunchtimes for anyone who needs some extra guidance.
But the classroom isn't the only space where we get to socialise and enrich our skills.
Many of our favourite parts about McRob are the events, extracurricular activities and exciting opportunities that are offered outside of the academic classroom. There is always something for everyone, whether that be our extensive music program, sports teams, leadership portfolios like SRC, or a wide range of student-run clubs.
House is another aspect of involvement at McRob. The houses at McRob are Oriads, we have Dryads, Nereids, and Naiads, which is the best house, of course. There are so many events to celebrate the diverse range of capabilities of McRob students. We have house swimming, athletics, drama, music, dance, debating, and much more.
At lunchtime, we are able to attend seminars, talent shows, student-based teacher sport competitions, and purchase baked goods from the Connect class bake stalls, which are held by other student leaders. Each and every initiative or event always has some form of student input, something which McRob values and encourages.
Definitely. I really love how McRob values student voice both within and outside the classroom. We see it in the way teachers reach out for feedback from students and the student-led initiatives, where it's super empowering to see people step out of their comfort zones and strive towards enriching our school's sense of community. And I really do hope future McRobians get to experience that too.
McRob also represents themselves outside of the school grounds, whether that be the Anzac Day Legacy Service or inter-school events like Australia Day, Clean Up Australia Day, debating, Relay for Life, or the Melbourne High and McRob musicals. These events have provided us with the opportunity to collaborate with people outside of our school community and have equipped us with life skills essential for our years beyond high school.
We hope you all consider MacRob as it is an environment where we encourage growth, learn to be compassionate, nurture responsibilities, and honour a diverse community both within and outside of the classroom.
We would now like to welcome Audrey and Jesselyn to talk about misconceptions at MacRob. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to MacRob Mythbusters with Jesselyn
and Audrey. Tonight we'll be debunking common misconceptions people have about MacRob. Hopefully you will leave today feeling like a whole new person who knows a lot more about MacRob.
As someone who didn't know a lot about MacRob before coming here, I definitely wish I'd received this information when I was accepted. So who's ready for some myth busting? Let's get started.
Misconception number 1, MacRob only focuses on education. There's no real emphasis on extracurricular activities. Going into our third year at MacRob, this has to be one of the biggest misconceptions about MacRob. Extracurriculars are an enormous part of our community, and as of this year, it was calculated that around half of the student body is involved in a leadership role. There are so many portfolios that you can be a part of: SRC, Give, Social Service, Interact, Debating and Public Speaking, Palace, and many more.
Don't get us started on sport at MacRob. So far this year, we've had many successes in the sports sector at MacRob. Recently, at our swimming carnival, we had 2 students break some crazy school records, and many of our Term 1 sport teams have brought home a lot of success, moving up to a regional level in the competition. There's a sport for everyone here at MacRob, and if you're not into competitive sports, we have plenty of clubs, like netball club and volleyball club, where you can simply hang out with your friends and play the sport you love.
If you're someone who values music, you'll instantly fit in at MacRob. The Muso family is super welcoming, and there's plenty of ways you can get involved, from house music to the multiple bands you can be part of, like Paganini Strings, Orchestra, Stage Band, and many more. There's a band for everyone to get involved in. Whether you're a skilled musician or you're just starting, the Muso family at MacRob has a super strong bond where you can create many memories.
Misconception number 2. The MacRob environment is very competitive. This could not be less true. MacRob is one of the most inclusive and loving communities you will ever find yourselves in. Everyone is so dedicated to helping one another become the best version of themselves. And there is no limit to the kindness and unity you will find in our community.
When I first started at MacRob, the thing that most compelled me was just how friendly and inviting everyone was. It wasn't the cold, competitive environment I was expecting. It was a hello here and a hello there. A tight-knit community where everyone is eager to help and ready to support.
This support comes in various forms, including mental health and well-being sessions, peer support groups, transport buddies, and study groups where students share tips and tricks to ace assessments. There are plenty of resources created by caring teachers and committed students to support not only our academic lives, but also our mental, physical, and social health.
Misconception number 3. The only trait of MacRobians is that they're smart. MacRobians are humans just like everyone else. Yes, it's true that we come to MacRob to do well academically, but we are so much more than just brains. We are musically talented, athletically inclined, artistic and creative, but most of all, we are diverse. Everyone comes from such a wide range of backgrounds, and this contributes to the huge variety of personalities, beliefs, cultures, and interests. It would be impossible for me to tell you in words just how special this school is, so I guess you just have to experience it yourself. Life is never boring here at MacRob. We are not a school of robots, but a community rich in both diversity and unity.
Misconception number 4. Students at MacRob are expected to self-study because they are so smart. I remember thinking that MacRob was going to be like a university where the teachers just lectured to you and most of the learning had to be done by you. Going into VCE this year, I've realized that MacRob is far from this. Our hardworking team of teachers are always ready to support us in our education journey, whether that be by answering our many questions, providing us with feedback, or holding help sessions at lunchtime for specific subjects. Trust me, if you utilize the resources that MacRob give you, you'll be more than smart. You'll be a genius.
You will always be supported in your learning here at MacRob, whether that be by your teachers or by your fellow classmates. Being in a like-minded community allows students to connect over their learning and learn together. So if you're scared to ask your teacher a question or for some feedback, you should never be afraid to ask your peers. They can be just as helpful.
That's it from us. We hope you enjoyed hearing us bust some McRob myths. You're all practically McRobians now.
I agree. I think you could all sing Pretend Suey better than us already. Thanks for your attention, guys. If you have any more questions, make sure to scan the QR code.
We would now like to welcome Miss Josie Phillips, middle school leader, to talk about the application process and key dates.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josie Phillips, and I have the privilege of being the middle school leader here at McRob. I work with all of our Year 9 and 10 students and support them through transition and their journey through middle school, and make sure that they are seen and valued and heard and supported in all things learning and wellbeing. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the selection process and some key dates that you need to be aware of should you walk away from here and decide that this is the place for you. All of this information will be shared with you at the end of this evening in the next few days via email. So anyone that registered through Debunking will get all of this sent through. I'm going to talk through eligibility requirements, a bit about the exam process and the selection process criteria as well. So as Sue explained at the start, we are a government public school and we cater for students in years 9 to 12. We accept students into Year 9, 300 students, and we have limited places available at Year 10 and 11 as well. We don't accept students into Year 12. At Year 10 and 11, I know there may be some students here looking to enter into those year levels. We do have very few spots available, up to around 10 per year level become available each year. The entry at Year 9 compared to the entry at Year 10 and 11 is slightly different and is managed by different bodies as well. To apply for McRob, it is important that you are an Australian or New Zealand citizen and you hold a visa or INI card. And you need to meet these eligibility criteria prior to accepting your offer of enrolment. And when you get that offer of enrolment, you will be required to provide certified copies of all of those documents. To apply for and be successful for a place at McRob or one of the other 3 select entry network schools, there is an entry examination that is run either through ASA or through us here at the school. For entry at Year 9, the enrolment process is managed by the Select Entry Unit through the Department of Education. For this, they will take all enrolments, and it is organised by ASA this year. I did see there were some questions in the Q&A around EduTest. The contract for the entrance exam has swapped this year. If you go to the Department Select Entry site, you will see a thorough information pack provided by ASA with all of these key details, and that will also be emailed to you following this session. Applications for Year 9 enrolment are now open, and you need to apply directly through ASA and the Department of Education Select Entry Network, and they will close on June the 2nd, so it's still a little while away. The entrance exams will take place in July, mid-July, across multiple locations in Melbourne. These locations aren't organised by us here at McRob, they are organised through ASA, and they will only be confirmed once the enrolment application process is finalised, and all families will be contacted directly by ASA with the location of that entrance test. And they've asked us to let you know that that's not negotiable, but there will be multiple locations around Melbourne for that test. Enrolment into Year 9 and 10 is slightly different. We look after enrolments here for entrance at Year 10 and 11. So if you are wanting to join us at Year 10 next year or Year 11, you will be going through the EduTest process, and you will register your interest through the McRob website, not the Department of Education's website. On that website, you'll be sent to the EduTest portal and asked to register your details there. So to summarise that, entrance at Year 9 is managed through the Department of Education's Select Entry Network. Entrance at Year 10 and 11 is managed by us here at McRob, and EduTest. With the selection process, there are some other selection criteria just for you to be aware of. I would refer you to the ASA selection handbook for more information around this. There are certain capacity quotas in 2024. No more than 4% of students can come from a standard high school and no more than 10% from a Peter 9 school. So what that means is at your one high school, only 4% of students will be able to gain a place at a select entry school. There's further examples of what that means and some examples of how that's calculated in the handbook that will be emailed through. There are also positions available for equity consideration. So if you do have a healthcare card or a pensioner's card, receive any sort of income support benefits, or identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, there is an equity category that you are able to apply for. And it is best to do this up front when you submit your first application through ASA or EduTest. For entrance at Year 9 as well, there is also a principal's discretion category, and that is overseen by us here at the school. And principals may offer an additional 5% of places in addition to the ones offered through ASA, and that's based on an interview process with our principal here and a sort of portfolio of evidence, and it gives students a chance to show off all of the amazing things about themselves beyond just the selection test there. For those that are coming in at Year 10 and 11, that is also based on an interview process as well as the EduTest. And that provides students again with an opportunity to bring along the portfolio of work, celebrate their accomplishments beyond just the EduTest numbers. I'm very mindful that that was a lot of information, a lot of dates and different processes for depending on the different year levels. If you do have any questions, I would ask you to submit them via the QR code. There's a copy of this QR code in your pamphlets as well. And this will be closed tomorrow morning. So even if you go away tonight and questions pop into your mind, please enter them into that. And we will do our very best to answer as many as possible that are generalised to most applicants. For those specific questions, I'm sure Sue will talk about it as well, but signing up for a school tour would give you that opportunity to ask some of those nitty-gritty day-to-day questions that are popping through on that Q&A. I'd now like to hand back over to Sue and our school captain and vice school captain to conclude the evening.
Thank you, Josie. So I hope that gives you a bit of a sense of who we are and what we stand for and what we provide, and gives you something to think about. I really want to thank all of our wonderful students for your presentations tonight about what you think people would like to know and what they need to know. You've done a great job and we really appreciate that. If you have any questions as you're leaving, we'll be out in the foyer. We can help out with those questions. Please use the frequently asked questions. Please come on a school tour. You can see us in operation. It's all good and well to hear what we have to say, but if you get to see it and feel the vibe of the place when we're in operation, you can go into some classrooms. You can talk to more students. Students accompany me on tour, and it will give you a greater sense of who we are. I thank you so much for your interest, and I wish you all the best for the selection process, and reiterate that it is ASA for Year 9 enrolment for 2024, and it's us for Year 10 and 11, but that will direct you to the EduTest. And if you have any questions about Year 9 enrolment, the selective entry unit for the Department of Education's details are there, and they can assist you with any inquiries that you have. Over to you, Pinchi and Gary. You'll have to use your biggest voices.
concludes our program for the evening. Thank you all for coming. We hope tonight has been a positive and informative experience. In terms of safely exiting the building, there are 3 exits available from the main auditorium, the main double doors at the back and the 2 staircases as well. Please exit the buildings as quickly as possible because we do have another information session that will be commencing soon. If you have any questions that haven't already been submitted through the QR code, there will be some students and teachers in the foyer in rows guarded, so please feel free to ask them.
And thank you for joining us. We'd like to wish you a safe journey home and good night.